liked it.
I'm glad.
Did you like it?
I thought it was cute.
Me too.
Which is weird to say about a slasher.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Hello, and welcome to the Real Horror Show podcast, a horror movie review podcast where we review horror movies from Netflix, Hulu, Shudder, and everything in between. I'm your host, Sam Odie.
Oh, and I'm Stormy Skies, the co-host. Hello, listeners. Thank you.
Welcome to our podcast. Today, we're going to be reviewing It's a Wonderful Knife, which is a brand new 2023 American slasher comedy film directed by Tyler McIntyre and written by Michael Kennedy. It stars Jane Widdop, Jess McLeod, Joel McHale, Catherine Isabel, William B. Davis, and Justin Long. It is a spin-off of the 1946 Christmas film It's a Wonderful Life. However, instead of the lead character recognizing his previous good deeds, the character Winnie discovers how many deaths she prevented in her town. And this is how we like to break it down. We start with characters and acting, story and writing, and then last, production. And then we like to discuss the real horrors this movie addresses. Sometimes they're serious, and sometimes we like to have a little bit of goofy fun. That being said, we are a horror movie podcast, so here is a general trigger warning. We talk about death, blood, guts, and unsavory topics that might not be suitable for everyone, although we do try to do so with sensitivity. Listeners' discretion is advised. Movies are then rated on a scale of what the fuck did I just watch, which means no redeeming qualities to be found, meh, it's okay, and yeah, that fucked me up, which is what all horror should strive to be. So let's get started.
Heck yeah.
I did that pretty well this time.
You did. And the more you do it, the easier it'll get. I've been doing the outro for longer because the outro has just existed for longer, so no worries.
Yeah. So yeah, It's a Wonderful Knife. It had a brief theatrical run. I remember because I am a Regal Unlimited member, so I am on the Regal Unlimited subreddit quite a lot. And this was, I think, one of the mystery movies in November.
Oh, cool. Nice. Well, it was a very good production. Like I'm never sure if it's gonna be like a B-rate movie or like something that's more like cost more to make. And this one, like I could see it in the theater.
Yeah, I kind of regret not seeing it in the theater. But I've only gone to one Regal mystery movie since they've been doing it. It's $5. It's not that much of a commitment. Cool. But at the same time, I have to leave the house and it gets dark at 6 now. But no, I do wish I had seen this in the theater, and it got a lot of hate from mystery movie watchers.
Oh, why?
Probably it just wasn't what they were expecting that week.
Oh, I see.
And horror, especially horror comedy, is a hard sell. I'm finding just with my own groups of friends and in general, people don't realize when a horror movie is not taking itself seriously, like they're intentionally being bad to make fun of their genre, to parody their genre, to satirize their genre. Because, you have your scary movies, which is super obvious what they're doing. But this, I would say, kind of leans on the horror comedy side of things. Just because of the concept alone. Definitely. So, that being said, all those little details, all that lore, let's get into it with acting. We have our main character, whose name is Winnie Carruthers, who is celebrating the holidays with her family. And I was not expecting Joel McHale to be in this movie, or Justin Long.
Also, I could not even tell that was Justin Long at all.
David said the same thing.
Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh fuck, that was Justin Long. It looked like a completely different man. But yeah, he's like,
he had like these weird veneers on during the movie, which work really well for the character.
And like a tan, and like it just looked different. Yeah.
So he was really great as like this very over the top mustache twirling villain of the movie. Because we find out right away. We find out right at the beginning, because this is the type of story it is. It's a Wonderful Life retelling. We find out at the beginning that he's the killer. He killed like 2 people before Winnie was able to electrocute him. So he does a really great job playing the villain. But yeah, back to Winnie. She's the one who carries the movie. She was pretty good.
Yeah.
Not super standout to me, but she was a good final girl.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, she was cute.
I think Bernie was a much more compelling character.
Yes, definitely.
And a better actress. She did a very good job at being that kind of weird girl.
Yeah.
And I liked the subtle queerness of the movie. Subtle, but
subtle. Everybody's gay.
Subtle, but kind of
Spoilers,
overt. Like it's also, I would also say it's kind of a coming out story.
Yeah.
Because Winnie starts off with a boyfriend who cheats on her, and
it's so obvious that he's cheating on her the whole time.
Yeah. And she and Bernie end up together, and I think they had good chemistry, like from the moment like Winnie ended up in the alternate reality where she never existed and never stopped the murders from happening. They had really good chemistry, and I was like, oh, I hope this ends with them getting together. And it did.
Yeah, I could definitely, because I thought that after she said, like, do you like me? I was like, oh my God, like, are they gonna be gay together? Like, is she bisexual? Because like she had a boyfriend, but I like kind of forgot because he was like an afterthought. And I was like, oh yeah. And then they kissed. Spoiler, sorry guys. And then it's like, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was cute, but I liked Bernie more.
And then we don't get enough of her, but we have the return of horror icon Katharine Isabelle.
Yeah, I was like,
in
whoa,
this movie.
there she is.
Haven't seen her in a hot minute.
She was American Mary, right?
She was American Mary.
I haven't seen her since I watched that, I think.
She was also in Ginger Snaps.
I've never seen Ginger Snaps.
One of the Ginger Snaps. She was also the cool girl who I like more than the final girl in Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah.
And apparently, because back in the day when they did director commentaries, I loved listening to director commentaries. Katharine Isabelle was originally supposed to play the final girl in Freddy vs. Jason. And I think she would have been
Me too.
I'm not the biggest fan of what's her face.
Yeah, the one in Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah. She's just a little too on the ditzy side for me.
I've never seen her in anything else but that. Is she in other stuff?
I saw her in the Never Sleep Again documentary when they got to Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh damn, I still haven't watched that. Isn't that like a 10-hour thing?
It's a fucking commitment. It's I think it's 4.5 hours.
Yeah, I mean I'd love to watch it. Is it on Shudder?
I think it's on Shudder. It's also been on Netflix, so I would check.
Is it Monica Keena? Is her name?
Yeah, Monica Keena.
Okay.
I'm sure she's done other things. She had to be like a early 2000s teen drama girl. But yeah, it was super cool seeing Katharine Isabelle back. I don't think we got enough of her in that movie, but we don't get enough Katharine Isabelle in horror these days anyway.
I love her.
But she was cool and just like didn't question.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, okay, this seems like, I love the suspension of disbelief. So she's like, this seems plausible. I'm just gonna go with it. Yeah. Why not?
And then Joel McHale was Joel McHale. That's not an insult to him as an actor, but I spent so many years of high school watching Soup on E that I can't see him as not Joel McHale.
So is he like a host of a show then?
So he is a host / actor. He took over the Soup after, I can't remember who the original Soup was, but he hosted the Soup for years, which was just a clip show that summarized reality TV for the week. So I watched that every Friday during high school.
Wow.
And then he started doing Community, which is a huge show, cult following. That's where Donald Glover, Donald Childish Gambino.
You're right, it is Donald Glover. Yeah.
Okay, because there's also Donald Grover or Donald. There's another one. There's
no. Yeah, you're right.
And they're not related, and it always confuses me. Anyway,
there he is.
So
I have to watch
Joe
Community.
McHale
I want to watch Community because I work at a community college.
Yeah, Community is very good. I love Community. But he just always plays these really sarcastic characters, and I think he did really well, especially, when she was trying to get information about how her brother died that night, since she wasn't there to stop it. I thought that's some of the best acting I've ever seen from Joel McHale. But when I see him, it is hard for me to like disconnect him from being a comedy
Yeah, like
guy.
a comedy guy.
Just his voice is very recognizable. It's very
Yeah,
he has that TV host cadence when he
he
talks.
does, but I think it's interesting, like that I was watching this and I'd never seen Joel McHale. Like I recognize him, but I did know he did like TV show hosting. So
Mhm.
like luckily it didn't like do anything differently for me. But I didn't know that these shows I didn't know the soup was a thing. So that's interesting.
Yeah, there was the soup on E
Soup.
and then the dish on Style,
Hmm.
RIP
It
Style
looks like he
Network.
has a show called The Joel McHale Show as well.
Hmm.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah, the soup was like a Tosh Point oh. You seem like a Tosh Point
Oh,
oh
I remember that. Yeah,
girly.
yeah, yeah. Tosh Point oh. I never watched that either, but like I didn't watch a lot of TV shows.
So many pop
I
culture references
know,
to
I know,
miss.
I know, I know. Um, all right, well, anyway, that's that. What about, yeah, Justin Long? Anybody else? Like what about the bro? He like died. The brother,
Yeah, the
he's
brother,
fine.
he's
He's
gay. He
cool.
doesn't play a huge role other than he's the catalyst in Winnie realizing that she was there. The reason she survived that night, the reason she was did what she did was to keep her brother alive.
Yeah,
And she sees the repercussions of that happening.
yeah,
There's also the mayor's brother who's also there. I think we got through the big
yeah. There's only a
players.
handful.
Yeah. I guess her mom
Yeah,
um was there. She was
yeah.
funny.
She was,
She was funny. She gets murdered. Murdered.
yeah, murdered. Cool.
Um, yeah, I think those are the big players. So let's go ahead and get into
All
story.
right.
So there's a holiday party. It's Christmas. Everyone's happy. Winnie is going to a holiday
It's
party
Christmas
as
Eve. It's
teenage.
Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve and she's going to a holiday party as one does.
Yeah.
Trixie is upset because she's locked out of the bedroom and the office, but she's been a
Aw.
bad kitty, so she's not allowed to have unsupervised access to those rooms right now.
Yeah.
I just heard her meow
Aw.
outside the
Oh,
door.
the
Poor
baby.
thing. Um, so
Yeah.
anyway, and the mayor is up to some shenanigans. He's trying to buy a shit ton of property so he can essentially own the town. And Winnie's dad is the real estate agent who's helping him do this, but he's not super like into it, right?
Yeah.
Like he knows that's kind of fucked up for one person to own the entire
Yeah.
town. So we get that establishment and then we go to the party and one of the coolest slasher designs I've seen in a long time
Yeah.
shows up at the party and kills a couple of kids,
Yep.
and they happen to be kids of prominent business owners in the area. But never fear, Winnie sees what's going on and she's able to get the killer and electrocute him and unmasks to find out it's the mayor, Justin Long.
Can't
With
believe it's just a long dude. It looks nothing like him. It's crazy. That's crazy, but it's very cool.
Justin Long has been getting his fucking
Dude,
horror rounds in this
I
year. He was
know.
he was in Barbarian.
Yeah.
He's leading
He was also
Goosebumps.
in Drag Me to Hell
Like,
all those years ago.
yeah. So he's been doing his
He
horror
loves
rounds
horror
lately.
probably, dude. He's probably like, give me
Yeah.
any movie at all. I'll do it. I'll do it as long as I'm the bad guy. I want to be the bad guy this time. He's a good bad
Yeah.
guy.
He is. So then
And he rest in peace.
yeah, have you seen Barbarian yet?
Yes, I have seen Barbarian. I think I watched it on my laptop when I had COVID last October.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
good.
That
I
was
watched it
good.
for Richard Brake and he wasn't in it enough. Yeah.
I really liked Zach Krieger. He was the director. He did Whitest Kids You Know for the longest time, cult
Yeah.
a cult comedy
Mhm.
show. And I think he did a really smart choice as director by casting Justin Long as the quote unquote villain
Yeah.
and Bill Skarsgård as the cute, charming guy,
Mm-hmm.
because that's a subversion of
It is.
expectations.
That's very
Uh,
clever.
anyway, so then after the murders happen, after the mayor's revealed to be the murderer, we jump forward a year and Winnie is dealing with her trauma and her parents aren't really helping her through
Yeah.
her trauma. They're kind of ignoring the issue.
Yeah.
And it all comes to a head once again on Christmas
No, it's
Eve
Christmas
where
Day
she
now.
gets
It's
a
Christmas Day, right?
oh, on Christmas
Yeah, sorry,
Day.
because it's presents time.
Well, no, I think it jumps forward a year because she says people died last year, don't you
Yeah,
care?
yeah. Okay, maybe it's Christmas
Yeah.
Eve. But then she wakes up in the
Yeah.
morning, she's like, Christmas.
Yeah. So anyway,
But yeah, anyway.
she's gifted a shitty pink jumpsuit
Yeah, like yeah.
while her brother gets a
Yeah,
car
a truck,
and
dude.
she snaps and says people died last year, don't you care? And her parents try and calm her down.
And the brother's like, we can
But
share the truck. It's no big
yeah.
deal.
But she's had enough. She goes to the party because her boyfriend's been texting her a lot, if I recall.
Yeah, which is I find this strange, and I'd like to talk about some little things about that.
Yeah. She gets to the party. Everybody says, "No, I don't know where your boyfriend is," until she finds her friend Bernie, also known as Weirdo,
Yeah.
who says he's in the laundry room and
No, she says he's outside, and then the other person's
he's
like, he's in the
outside.
laundry room. Why are you lying? And she's like, I'm trying to protect you. He's in the fucking
Yeah.
laundry room with like her other bud, her like friend.
Yeah, shady shit
Yeah.
as she catches her friend and boyfriend making out, and he's like, "Well, can you blame me? You've been completely absent for the past year since it happened." And she feels depressed. She has no one in her life, and she makes a wish on the northern lights that she never existed.
Yes.
And so, in just like in It's a Wonderful Life, that happens. She wakes up and nobody knows who she is, not her family, who is distraught and upset because their son was killed the previous year by the slasher,
Angel.
who is now killing again since she arrived. And she's like, wait, I know who it is. And the mayor showed up to the scene of the crime that she stumbled upon. It was like, what do you mean you know who it is? And she's like, I
She's
don't
like,
know, never
JK,
mind.
but he's as tall as you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she like leaves.
So finding out that everything's weird, she's like, what the fuck is going on? He's killing again. The mayor's alive again. How the fuck did that happen? My family doesn't recognize me. She goes back to the Christmas Eve party.
Yeah.
Where she finds Bernie/weirdo, and she's able to convince Bernie/weirdo.
Yeah, that she is in an alternate reality. She needs help getting back, and she's like, yep, sounds fine.
Yeah. Yeah, after she starts piecing it together herself when she sees her boyfriend Chris and the other girl together, and they're like, we've been in love for 3 years.
Yeah.
So it starts piecing together for her, a little too slow, but her friend believes her. They have some nice let's see,
time together, just trying to unfold the mystery and determine
they spend time
how she needs to get back to the other reality, which is like kill bad guy.
Yeah, she thinks it's to kill bad guy.
But
so
which bad guy?
she's able to weasel her way back in with her family by
by like
convincing her aunt that, hey, I'm your niece from another reality, let me tell you some shit that only I would know.
Yeah, and she just like believes her immediately.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, this checks out.
Like, come on
so she has a really intense conversation with her dad, who flips out on her when she accidentally calls him dad.
She just calls him dad. He's like, stop doing that.
And then her mom, who in this reality is a drunk and a drug addict as she's dealing with the death of her son.
With like a man.
She's like, yeah, she's like, he's just a pussy. He can't do anything. And then 3 seconds later,
oh my God,
the ghost, the Christmas spirit killer
the angel
comes
killer.
in Yeah, the angel killer comes and like stabs her to death, and
Yeah, rest in peace.
so Winnie and Bernie rescue her
Yeah.
aunt. He trips, or they push him downstairs, and he's unconscious. And before they leave, Winnie takes off his mask, and gasp!
It's her
It's her dad.
dad.
It's her
Oh no.
dad. Which kind of makes sense, right? Like, he got very defensive when she said the mayor killed his son because he knows he did. He probably knows
Yeah.
that. And he probably knows why the mayor did it. It was because he needed the real estate agent to help him with his evil plan to remove business owners from their businesses so the mayor can own the businesses.
Yep.
So he was probably like blackmailed in this reality to continue the murders to keep people in line, because the mayor now has like a fucking authoritarian state going
I
on
know,
here.
right?
So so they then go to the movie theater and set up a trap for the angel killer to come, and in the process, the aunt dies, but they also manage to kill him.
Dude, yeah, they kill him in a pretty clever way too. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm
No, that's
skimming
okay.
her aunt caught a
They do it
plot.
and they're like, oh, after they do that, they're like, okay, well, it's time for me to try to go back. And they try again.
Yeah. Right. And it doesn't work.
And they're like, fuck. Obviously, I killed the
so
wrong man.
so they conclude that, oh, the mayor is still posing a
Yeah,
threat.
yeah. I don't know why they
Community.
that didn't occur to them, but okay. But yeah.
So they go confront him at this weird like Christmas celebration he does, where he decides who's been naughty and who's been nice.
I thought this was so creepy because they all got like everyone was there, and then when they called a person, they went up and they gave him a gift. And they like threw it away. I was like, oh my god, this is so that stuff like kind of freaks me out a little bit. So anyway,
the weird dystopian stuff.
Yeah, but anyway, go on.
Um
Justin Long, I can't believe that was him the whole time.
So just reading off. Mayor Henry Waters is holding a public Christmas theme event where it's revealed he has members of the town under some sort of supernatural spell that places them under his control. He admonishes his brother Buck for putting in a transfer request to be sheriff in another town, then publicly executes him, dressing him in the angel costume and putting his corpse on display. Winnie and Bernie confront him and accuse him of the deaths in the past year. Henry reveals that when he killed Jimmy, he broke David's spirit and put him under his control, making him an accomplice. He tries to kill Winnie and Bernie,
but they beat him. Punch him.
Yeah. Winnie and Bernie kill him first, breaking the spell that is on over the townspeople, and they return to the bridge, and the aura appears, and Winnie goes home.
Before they kiss.
Yeah, they kiss, and Bernie reveals that she was contemplating suicide, and that Winnie saved her life, and Winnie realized, oh, maybe this happened because I needed to save you, not necessarily anyone else. So she returns to her reality, and the family apologizes. They get her a camera because she loves photography, and they apologize for not helping her through her grief and through her trauma.
For a whole year.
For a whole year. She runs. Then she remembers that Bernie was going to kill herself that day. So she runs through the town, tells her ex-boyfriend and her friend that they're cute together. It's fine. They're cute together.
She goes to Winnie.
She makes it to Bernie. She says, don't kill yourself. You have so much to live for. I care about you so much. And then Bernie says that she still has memories from the alternate reality, and they kiss happily and plan to celebrate Christmas together with Winnie's family.
I can't believe she remembered.
But yeah, but I'm willing to accept that.
I was just like, you know what, that's fine, because it would take too long to try to convince her again that all of this happened. But she'd be like, yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the plot of the movie. It requires a lot of suspension of disbelief.
A lot. But that's fine. It worked.
It was fun. We don't get a lot of Christmas movies, and I like that this is a take on such a Christmas classic that we're all familiar with.
It did well with it too. It didn't derail the idea of It's a Wonderful Life. It really did it well, and it kept the horror element there too, because it was creepy and scary at times.
Yeah, because the point of It's a Wonderful Life, what without saying it, is the butterfly effect. If someone didn't exist, here's
Yeah.
the domino effect of what happens because they're not alive. And Winnie, the year after her two friends were killed and the mayor was responsible, her life is kind of in shambles because she's traumatized and it feels like no one really cares what happened to them. And she's the only one who does. So naturally, she would feel like what she did was pointless. Her existence is pointless since nobody else cares.
Yeah. But then you see how it like really does affect things negatively. So you're like, oh God, I have to be alive because like I didn't realize, this, and that.
Yeah. And I appreciate that it's not a Christmas horror film connected to Krampus or Santa Claus or what we've been getting in the past. Like, we've gotten a few Krampus movies in the past. We got,
Krampus wasn't good. I
um,
remember seeing that actually in theaters, and I
yeah.
like wasn't really a fan.
But like Krampus is so easy, right, to make a Christmas horror movie
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
about.
Yeah.
Because he's the opposite of Santa.
It's-
He beats the bad kids.
Yeah. So it's like, okay,
Um,
automatically it's just already gonna be scary, so not much effort is needed, just a scary
yeah.
monster.
So like a movie like this, and I think last year or the year before we watched Anna and the Apocalypse. I like
Oh yeah, that musical.
creative, yeah, I like creative takes on what a Christmas horror movie should look like because then maybe we'll start getting more Christmas horror
Mm-hmm.
movies. Is if
Yeah.
we can break the mold of, all right, so what if Santa was evil? What
Right.
if Jack Frost or your
Yeah.
snowman came to life and ate you?
Seriously, yeah,
Um,
yeah. And this was a good movie, and I also thought that it was like very heartwarming too. Like I even
yeah,
got emotional at some points because it was like sad, so it's
yeah,
it's pretty multifaceted, but at the heart of it, it is a horror movie because of the plot being driven by catching the killer.
yeah.
And the deaths
And
happening in pretty violent ways with the axe. So there was blood and stuff too,
oh
you
yeah,
guys. So
yeah.
it wasn't like, oh yeah, it
It
was
was there was a lot of good
rated
overkill.
R. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a lot of good overkills in this and just I've this is a production note we can veer into
Okay.
production. I love the design of the
Did
slasher.
you think that was cool? I thought that was pretty different. I love to see
I
that.
It was
It was
white, the
white.
mask was blank,
Yeah.
nothing. I loved it.
Not
Like
cool.
it had some ghost face vibes to it just with
Oh,
the flowiness of the
yeah.
costume, but it felt like if you're doing a Christmas slasher, this is what your slasher should look like.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
And for it to be kind of a take on like a Christmas Angel, very
Yeah,
well
Christmas
done.
Angel. Um, and yeah, I liked the white mask, but yeah, the whole white, you never ever see a killer. Like you just think like black robe,
Mhm.
but this is all white, like snow, like an
Yeah.
angel, like innocence. White
Yeah.
mask, that means anybody could be the killer. There's not even like a face. Like Ghostface has a scary
Mhm.
screaming face. I don't know. It's very cool. Okay. The
It was
mask reminds me like a little bit of Slender Man, actually, which is cool.
ooh.
Who doesn't
Yeah.
love Slender Man? I know, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, but that was really cool, cool costume. And the knife, I think, if I look at the weapon, it had like some type of like an embellishment. Um, yeah, there. Okay. So the knife, if you look at the like a poster or a trailer, it has the hilt, like where you hold it right before the blade
Mhm.
starts. It's golden angel wings. So it's really cool.
Ooh.
So it's like a whole theme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
I really appreciate the thought that went into this design.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
because it is easy to just do another jumpsuit, another black jumpsuit, and a mask you find at the Dollar Tree.
Yes, yes, which is essentially the epitome of a slasher costume is they just go buy it at the cheap store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
That's a really good
right,
point. They buy it at
the
the
cheap
cheap
store.
store, but
Yeah.
this slasher design, since it's the
This is
mayor and the mayor is very
this is the rich
bougie
store.
and narcissistic,
Yeah.
it makes sense that his looks like so polished and so rich and white.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
good
like that?
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good character
It is good character.
analysis.
I didn't even mean to do it. But yeah, it's
That's just how smart we
it's
are.
super
We
smart.
have master's
I
degrees.
know.
You're almost a
I know we just
doctor.
talk about stuff and it when we talk about it, it's actually like we're just like saying smart shit. But
Yeah.
yes, I can't believe that's Justin Long. That's so now I can see it. Like now I see it. But I think it's like the hair, the teeth, like the tan, and his like the way he spoke with like he had like a
Hmm.
weird accent almost. Um, yeah, yeah. I think he did really good with that character. I didn't even fucking tell it was him.
Yeah.
Amazing. Anyway, well, that's cool. All right, so that's production. What other production? Um,
The music was good. Had a lot of fun
yeah.
poppy
I,
music. I think that's why I could see this on the big screen is good music composition.
um,
That's key to a theatrical
oh
release,
yeah.
in my humble
No,
opinion.
I would absolutely agree with that too. It had pretty cool Christmas songs. I do want to bring up the difference of how things looked whenever she was in the regular reality and then when she was in her new
Hmm.
reality. And the best example I can give is when she goes to her house. It almost seems
Hmm.
like there's like no lights on, but there's like white stark light coming through and making everything shadowy. Like it's almost
Yeah.
like all the windows were open, but no one put a light on in the house, so it looked cold and like empty. But there's people in it. It was
Yeah.
very eerie.
It's warm tones versus cool
Yeah, you see,
tones.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. So whatever that is.
It's Twilight New Moon versus
Oh my
Twilight.
God, dude, Twilight, man. I love Twilight. So yeah, because Edward's gone, right? So it's
Yeah.
like everything sucks. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's a cool
Um
note. But I noticed it and it made me, as I was watching it, feel cold.
yeah.
Yeah. Are you?
And I do like that it kind of feels like a Christmas movie. Like there's always this critique about Hallmark Christmas movies,
Yeah.
how they're just like they're rom-coms but with a Christmas setting kind of. Not really because they filmed them in the summer before Christmas so they're able to release in December. So there's never actually snow in New York City in
Yeah.
December. But it felt cold. The movie felt like it was set in the winter. They did a good job with set dressing, making it Christmassy. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. I want to go back and talk about Justin Long again because I'm looking at his character, like pictures of Henry Waters, and he has like blue contacts in too.
I didn't
I'm
notice
looking
that.
at really, yeah, I didn't notice it before, but it's another thing that made him look different from how Justin Long looks. Is I'm looking at a picture, like a close-up picture of the thing that says "Are you naughty or nice?" Only Henry Rodgers can answer that, and his eyes are like super bright blue. And and I'm looking at a couple things, and Justin Long's eyes are brown. He must be wearing colored contacts, I think,
Mm.
dude.
He just became a
I
different person for this
did.
movie.
Listen, guys, I know that it's a lot, but like that really made an impact for me as a viewer. So actors, don't be afraid to like turn yourself into a completely different person and look different. It's
Hmm.
fucking that was cool. All right. But anyway, okay, so I'm done talking about Justin Long now. I don't think I have um any other production notes other than they didn't skimp on using realistic blood whenever people are getting stabbed and
Yeah,
stuff because mostly people got stabbed, no one got shot with a gun or anything in this
yeah,
movie.
yeah. This isn't Terrifier,
Yeah, what the fuck?
which this isn't about Terrifier, but I'm gonna be fucking real. I know they're filming the last and the third
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I don't know if I can do it again.
Sam, we have to do it again. It'll be the last time. It'll be the last
I
time
don't.
until they come back and say, "You thought we were done. We're gonna do three more." You fucking.
I don't like how Terrifier makes me feel.
What is it? How does it make you feel? What? Oh,
it makes me feel
Oh, does it
icky
make you feel
watching it.
yeah, well,
Makes me feel
I know,
icky.
it's real it's kinda difficult, you know what the worst part of it for me was, Sam, in the second one, is whenever he, like I don't know what he did to that girl in her room, but he, like, poured salt all over her body, like, her open
Yeah.
wounds, and I was like, "This is" I was like, "I can't I gotta, like, take a minute." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was like, "That's
And
fucked
I
up."
think like I was
Yeah,
watching another horror commentator talk about Terrifier and how she's not gonna
yeah.
finish the series because watching it, she realized that there is a disproportionate amount of violence done to women in Terrifier versus
Ah,
the men in
yeah,
Terrifier. And when she said that, it did click for me. Like the
yeah.
guy in the store, he was just decapitated. He didn't have like a super horrible death.
No, and
But like when you compare like how the two guys in that movie were killed compared to that one girl, it's
ugh,
like, huh, you got a really good point
that
about that.
is a really good point, and I didn't even think about that until you
And
said
like
it.
that's always been a discussion with horror movies is like women are victimized more, but like there's something about the way Terrifier handles it
Mhm.
that because they're trying to be like the goriest, this grossest horror
Yeah.
movie, that when you don't do it to both sexes, it's definitely
Yeah, it's noticeable. Yeah,
disproportionate.
now we're yeah, but
Anyway,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we could talk about
yeah,
that. It's
sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
We
We when I'm forced against
yeah,
my will to watch Terrifier 3, we'll
we'll
talk
talk
about
about
it, see
more.
if it continues that
It
trend.
may. Yeah, you never know.
And then
Yeah.
it and that reminds me that there was only one male victim in the first one, right?
Uh, um, I'm trying to think if there was even a man other than the clown.
Yeah.
Where was the
Yeah.
man? Oh, it was the like wasn't there
The like pizza shop owner or something.
yeah, right? The pizza shop owner
Mhm.
or I'm getting like the one and two blurred together
Yeah,
hardcore.
it's fine. It's fine. We'll get to
Oof.
Terrifier again one
Okay,
day.
cool. And then yeah.
Um so realistic aspects for Wonderful Knife, I
Yeah.
guess trauma not being helped through your trauma by your loved ones.
Yeah, and I can understand how that is a super realistic aspect because it seems to me that for her for a whole year, like people just they it's not like they didn't help her, they pretended it didn't even happen. So
Yeah.
like I don't know
Which
what's worse.
in their
Yeah.
way, maybe they thought that was going to help her as if
Right.
they just
That's a good point.
went with their normal business, which I think is a way
Yeah.
a lot of people try and cope with trauma is
Just
it didn't
yeah, just don't
happen.
bring it up so you don't have to think
Yeah.
about it. And I feel like a lot of people who have had like a trauma happen to them, maybe their loved ones think that that's the best way to, they don't even want to broach the subject because they can't
Yeah.
understand how you're feeling. So they just want to ignore it. But sometimes what you need is to like talk about it all the time so you can just unload it so it's not living in your brain anymore.
Mhm.
And that's such a touchy thing, but that's maybe the most realistic aspect of the whole movie is just like
Yeah.
ignoring a trauma instead of like trying to work it because you don't know what to do. What else are you gonna do?
Mhm. Being so involved with your own shit that you don't realize your friend is feeling suicidal.
Oh yeah. And that is in the regular reality, is she friends with Bernie at all? I feel like they don't even know who that
I
is. It's just like a school
um
person they go to school with.
yeah, I couldn't really tell if they were supposed to be
I
friends or
know.
not.
But yeah, still.
Like they definitely knew each other the way you know people in high
Uh-huh.
school, but whether or not they were friends, I wasn't super sure
Yeah.
about, but I guess be not realizing that other people are dealing with like their own shit and
Oh
maybe
yeah.
your problems aren't the only ones.
Right. And also like maybe not like really acknowledging stuff because you think it's the norm. Like for that girl, it was the norm to like refer to her as weirdo and like in the
Mhm.
regular reality, like someone threw like a drink at her head, you know, like and it was
Yeah.
fine and it was fine to like snap at her or like be mad um you know or ignore her uh but like for her like she was like going to kill herself. Also, like you don't realize what's going on at her home. It seems like her home life sucks because her dad left and her mom, is never is
Mhm.
not present. And so it's just her. And yeah, so and that was like a sad moment too, whenever she was like, this was gonna be my last Christmas. I was like, oh shit. It was
Yeah.
bringing up like a lot of dark stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another realistic aspect. Yeah.
I guess having a fascist mayor is
Oh
pretty
my
scary.
God. I know, like, first of all, in real life, and I don't know if it's like this for you, but in real life, like the places that I live, I don't even realize there is a mayor because I like
Hmm.
because we don't like it's not like a small town in these movies where he's like everywhere and like his name's on everything and everybody knows him and there's commercials with him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe there are small towns that like have a person that's like this, you know?
Hmm. I mean, and it's not necessarily the mayor. I
Yeah.
know it's a problem in my community where there's just one rich asshole who's buying up all the existing
Oh man,
property.
yeah.
So I
Monopoly.
think that's a very real reality for a lot of small towns is just one rich asshole is trying to buy all the buildings so no one can afford to
That's
open up
fucked up.
new businesses. And then everybody's like, why don't we have any new small businesses
Right.
opening
That's
up?
like the heart of and the culture of like small little towns is like to have a shit ton of small businesses and stuff. People love that, but like we don't want some doo-doo and everything.
Yeah.
That makes it like not special. And it makes
Yeah.
people not be able to like work. You can't contribute to the economy that way. So,
Yeah.
okay, cool. What
And
else you got?
that was my
There's that
last
one.
one.
Okay. So I wanted to talk about some realistic aspects that were like satirical in this movie, and I wanted to like talk to you about them. So first, okay,
Sure.
so first would be uh on Christmas Eve, like like going out to a party with like your friends on Christmas Eve. I've never like gone out to a party on Christmas Eve with my friends. I'm usually like at home or like with family on that day or like doing nothing. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So like what about you, Sam? Have you ever like had a Christmas Eve? Have you ever like a Christmas Eve friends party? Just like
I don't think I
yeah,
have, like, not at least not in adulthood because
right.
we're adults
Yeah.
now and we're planning our own Christmases.
Yeah.
I can't I don't think so for Christmas either. My family traveled a lot during, like, the Christmas
Right.
holidays, so it's possible there were some that I'm just, like, not remembering, but I know my family would sometimes have, like, Christmas Eve parties
Yeah.
or, like, December 23rd
Hmm.
parties, for their friends, but no, probably not Christmas Eve because my households have always been German leaning,
Yeah.
so we open presents on Christmas Eve,
Ah, okay.
which is the German
Cool.
tradition, and then so it doesn't really make sense for us to
Yeah.
go out and celebrate with friends.
Right, right. I was just thinking about it, and I don't know if anybody else have families like this, but I was just thinking like, dude, if I like was with my family for Christmas Eve and everybody came over and then I was like, all right, I'm going to my friends, bye, they'd be like pissed. Same with
Yeah.
like Christmas Day. It's like I'm just gonna like roll out of my house and like leave and go do something because it seems like all the stores are open and go walk around. It's like, no,
Mhm.
you stay home or you're at the
Yeah.
thing. In my uh like experience. It may be different, but I was like, dang, look at this place.
Yeah.
You just like go
Yeah.
anywhere. All your
So
friends live like two doors down, and like everyone knows each other. Small town
mhm.
vibes.
Yeah,
Cool.
so yeah, I guess our tradition was presents on Christmas
Yeah.
Eve, and then we got our stockings Christmas
Cool.
morning, and then as dinner was finishing up, we would go see a movie.
Oh, cool.
Um, because the theater's usually open because theaters and Chinese restaurants are usually open because not everybody celebrates Christmas.
Yeah.
So they want to be able to do something. And so that was kind of our tradition. Not we celebrate Christmas.
Right.
I'm a Christian family, but we took advantage of like Christmas Day new releases. That's why you see a lot of
Oh, cool.
bigger movies release on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Is Christmas Day is a big movie
Movie
going day.
day. That's
Yeah.
cool. Huh.
Which I feel kind of bad about because of, movie theater workers having to work, but I'm sure
Yeah.
they can work it out amongst themselves to
Right.
figure out who should work and
Yeah.
who shouldn't work. And which is unlocking a memory of when I had my first job in high school and like a fucking 40-year-old waitress beefing with me because I requested Christmas week off. And like, I'm 16 and my family is going out of town.
Right.
What do you want
I
me to
know.
do?
Seriously, it's like go call my like family and take it up with them.
Yeah.
God, dude, girl, I hear ya. Yeah.
Working in service industry sucks for a lot of reasons, but it's fucking weird when a 40-year-old has beef with a 16-year-old because the 16-year-old is a fucking child who has to do what their parents want them to do.
Yeah. When I was living, and this is after I met you, when I was living in Alexandria and I was working at Francesca's at Potomac Mills, I remember I requested off like I think I requested off like the I think the day before either it was either Black Friday or it was like the day before Christmas Eve or something like that. And my manager literally had to like convince the district manager to allow me to have that off because I was because her argument was like she's not from here. Like her family doesn't live here in Virginia. She has to drive to a different state. You know what I mean? Like, and if it was snowing, like in the snow overnight to like get home for Christmas Eve. And it's so it's like insane to me that people like can't just let that shit go and like either close the
Yeah.
store early, have less people, figure out who celebrates and who doesn't, who has plans and who doesn't, and just like get over it, not like try to like fight with me and like threaten me if I want to go home. Like I'll just quit and go work at a different store, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so crazy. But anyway, that's the realistic aspect.
Yeah. And it goes both ways.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel bad for Jews in America because we forget about all the Jewish holidays and they aren't recognized the same way Christian holidays are, where you're given those days off. They're just like
Yeah.
built into the calendar.
Mhm.
So, you know, Jews in America, Muslims in America, non-J J Christian J I know the term.
No,
I'm
I know what you're
sorry.
trying to say. I don't want to
I
try. I think I might say it wrong too.
I'm
Judaism?
fumbling.
There we go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Judaism. Those beliefs
Yeah.
don't get built into work
Why not?
calendars the
I would
way.
love to just have that all built in
Yeah.
already, guys. Like we would
Yeah,
all love more
so
days off.
it works both ways.
Please.
Like if you don't need any of the 8 nights of Hanukkah off, work those nights so your Jewish coworker can go
Yeah,
home and be
come
with their
on.
families. Purim and
Ugh.
what's the other big one? Because Hanukkah's not the biggest one that we try and make it out to be.
Um,
Hanukkah's only like amped up
oh
because
yeah.
it's by Christmas.
Let me see. Jewish holidays. 2023.
Anyway, that's the soapbox for this episode. I think I've said, well, no, there is one more thing I want to say. I think this one has flown under the radar because it is very similar
Yeah.
to another movie that came out this year that I do think is better and that I've already watched twice because I loved it so
What
much.
movie?
Amazon Prime's Totally Killer.
Oh, dude, someone recommended that to me with the
It is,
girl.
yeah, so it's a time travel one, not a different reality one. I never existed. Wonderful Life thing. It's a time travel one. So it has similar vibes where she's trying to prevent murders from happening to save her mother.
Yes.
So just like this one is her realizing her existence helped save her brother's life and the lives of so many others. It has a very similar vibe, and I like Totally Killer more. But I just want to point that out that maybe It's a Wonderful Life is flying under the radar because it is kind of the same thing as Totally Killer, which is slightly more fun.
Yeah, I really like Kieran and Shipka ever since I saw her in
Mad Men.
No, I never watched Mad Men.
Sabrina.
Yeah, Sabrina. Yeah, so I'll watch this, and plus you're the second person to recommend it to me, so I'll have to watch it for real. You said it was good. You watched it. Okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay, cool. So I'll watch that. And wait, let me go back to another realistic I have to bring up to you from a movie. So okay. we all know that in the regular reality, it's kind of obvious that her boyfriend is like interested in her friend because they like go off together to like get drinks and leave her behind. And she's like, oh, ha, 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 that's fine. Like everything's fine. And then, but in the, I don't know if it's like the next day or something, he's like texting her to come to the party. But then when she gets there to find him, he's like hooking up with the other girl. So why text your girlfriend to make her come to the party and then like begin to commence cheating on her? Like, I didn't
Maybe
understand.
maybe to throw her off the scent. I don't know. That
Yeah,
is weird.
right. I was like, dude, you texted like 1,000 times in like 30 seconds, and then she went over. I thought it was gonna be like he was a controlling boyfriend, but then I was like, oh, he's like cheating on her.
Hmm.
But like, why would you do that after you told her to come? Like, what are you doing? Maybe they just wanted her to find out. I don't know. But anyway, I was like thinking about that, like, why? But it doesn't matter. Maybe it's just being
Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah. So anyway, I'd give this movie an oh yeah. I mean, it didn't really fuck me up, but it's pretty fun. It's a good Christmas horror movie if you're looking for Christmas horror movies.
Yeah, no, I would say oh yeah, that flipped me too, because like it's a good horror movie. It's got a lot of great like different elements and stuff.
Hmm.
I also thought it was funny whenever it was supposed to be, and it was like sad and emotional at other parts too. So I was like,
Yeah.
well, this is a really good movie. Like I was really
Yeah. It's
surprised.
it's a very solid horror movie and it's a very solid Christmas
Yeah,
horror
I liked
movie,
it a lot.
which we need more
Yeah.
of. So support Christmas
Yeah,
horror.
I liked it a lot. And like you said, you it's a Christmas horror movie, and it's Christmas. It's taking place during the holiday. So like everything is lit up, like Sam said, there's like Christmas trees and they go to like the Christmas tree light up thing. So it's not like, oh, it's a horror movie that's set in the winter time, so you just have to apply it to Christmas. Like it's actually like, yeah, that's a wonderful life, but different. Um, I also did want to point out one more thing before we stop, and that's the best kill in the movie, in my opinion, because it's something that I've never seen before. And that is when the main character is in the movie theater and her father, who's dressed up, is chasing her. And she runs up this spiral staircase. And like
Hmm.
after she turns the bend, she sits down with like this wooden stake that's pointing out ahead of her. And so when the dad is chasing around the corner, he runs right into it. And I was like, yo, that's so smart. Why don't people who are running away from the killer find a blind spot, stop, turn around, and like have a really long weapon so they run? I thought that was the smartest thing I've like ever seen lately in a movie.
Hmm.
I've never seen anything done like that
Yeah.
before. And I was like,
It
dang,
was very
right.
well
And I was
done.
like, damn, that's like really clever. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because it really like made me think after how interesting that was. But anyway, oh yeah, that fucked me up. So yeah, definitely support Shudder and check out this movie. It's called A Wonderful Knife. Even when I typed in silent knife, it still came up Sam, so it doesn't matter what
Okay.
you do.
Yeah, I got it. I got it a little mixed up with Silent Knife that's currently in theaters.
Oh, okay, cool. Wait, silent knife.
Yeah.
Silent?
It's from the John Wick guy, so it's one of those
Oh,
movies.
okay. John Wick. Okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. All right. Well, anyway, if there is nothing else, wait, I did want to say one last thing. Excuse me. Because we were talking about a different horror movies. So Sam and I watched Saw 10, of course, because we love Saw, and we're gonna do our Saw retrospective. But Sam, did you hear the news about Saw 11?
I did see Saw 11's coming. I don't know how I feel about it. I thought Saw 10 was the perfect
I
end
thought so
note.
too, and now I'm like really discombobulated inside, and I don't know what to do. All I know is that we're going to have to watch it when it happens.
We do, and I regret speaking so highly of Saw 10 because I caused
I
this. I
know,
contributed.
but you know what? I feel like this is a little bit of an inevitability because it's been such a long time since the last Saw movie. Everybody like who's a Saw fan fucking like ran, it didn't walk to go see it, loved it. got a huge hype, and now they're like riding that wave maybe. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up and make everybody aware. And so now that everyone knows that's happening, maybe go watch Saw 10 if you're a fan. Try to get back on that bandwagon because it's not stopping. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if that's everything, I'll do our outro so you can get ready for your party. All right, sweet. So thanks for tuning in to our episode. We are the Real Horror Show podcast. Our host is Sam Odie, and I'm the co-host, Stormy Skies. The podcast was created by Sam Odie and Stormy Skies and is directed, edited, and produced by Sam Odie. You can find Sam on Instagram at Sam is Writing Stuff. And you can find Stormy on Instagram at The Stormy Skies. You can find the Real Horror Show podcast on Spotify, TuneIn, iTunes, Google Play Store, Pandora, and anywhere you like to stream your podcasts. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you're always in the know when a new episode comes out. Follow us on social media. You can find the Real Horror Show podcast on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, and yes, X/Twitter. But we also do more than just podcasts. We love to write and have plenty of great movie reviews and essays, all which can be found on our website, realhorrorshow.com. We love hearing from our listeners. You can ask us a question or send us a movie request to review by DMing us on social media, or you can even send us an email at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Call for guests. Do you love horror movies? Are you a podcaster, a content creator, a movie lover, or anyone in between who is a listener to our show? We would love to have you as a guest on one of our episodes. Reach out to us via social media DM or email us at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Our podcast episodes featuring guests are all listed on our website, realhorrorshow.com. We are so thankful for all our listeners. You are the life force of our podcast, and we wouldn't really exist without you. Thank you all for making this podcast real and supporting us as we record every week. Speaking of support, you can support us in different ways, such as liking and sharing our podcast episodes on social media. Giving us a review will help the podcast more than you know and will help other listeners find it too. You can also donate to Real Horror Show by visiting our support page on our website, where you can make a one-time donation via PayPal, buy us a coffee with the Buy Us a Coffee button, or explore our very interesting Amazon wish list. And is there any other pertinent news, Sam?
Not at the moment.
Okay, well, let me just take a moment to check my calendar. So next week is going to be the week going into the holidays. So if you celebrate Christmas and Christmas Eve, this episode will have come out at that time. So this is our Christmas special, and Sam and I will take a little breaky poo, as one does, until January, and then we'll be back with a mini-sode to discuss, I suppose,
the final episodes of
I
Death
know,
Note.
because I finished it, you guys. I tell you, I told Sam I finished it. And then we'll talk about that, and then we'll discuss a new TV show to watch and a whole new batch of Saw movies to watch. So if you want to get ready, it's Saw for Christmas, so you can keep up with us. Anyway, that is it. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year if you celebrate. Our outro song is called Creepy Doll by Jonathan Colton, and he can be found at jonathancolton.com. Thank you, fuck off, and have a swell evening. This is Real Horror Show signing off. Bye.
I love the creepy